Hi, welcome to Yogic Future. In this video, we will take you through how the platform works and what are the different features that are available to you. Once you have gained access to the platform and logged in, this is the dashboard that you will land on. So, the dashboard of the platform is basically where you can see a quick overview of what are the different aspects of your yoga studio at any time. So we can see that here are the enrollment stats, which is basically enrollments based on monthly basis in a chart view. Here are some more data points like total clients, subscriptions that are active, waitlisted members, and active classes that are going on in your yoga studio. We also have top programs here. We also have top clients here. So you can change the data on this page by choosing any date, any particular date or a range of dates from this filter. Moving on to the programs tab, we have two tab items here. One is program and the other one is waitlist. Looking at the programs, this is where you will add all the yoga programs that your yoga studio provides. And after you have successfully added a program, it will show up in this list here. So, in order to add a program to this list, you can click this button, add program, and this form will appear. In order to add a program, you need to fill out this form entirely. So the fields we have are program name, the yoga program, what the yoga program is called. So let's take an example of Hatha Yoga. I can call the program Hatha Yoga. I can add a description of the program. This can be anything that you want your students to know while purchasing a class of this program. You can choose the category. So this is the category of programs that you define in your platform. In order to have categories show up here in this drop down, you have to add categories under Yoga Center settings in the platform from the left navigation menu. We will show you how to do that later on in the video. So once you have some categories added here, you can choose any one. Now there is a compulsory website URL field here. This is where you can copy and paste a external link, which can be your yoga studio website link or any web page link where more information about the program that you're creating is available. This can be any valid URL available to you. Then you can set the fees for the workshops that will be created in this program. So let's put in 100 AUD as an example. Complimentary passes on completion. This is where you can define how many complimentary passes your student will be eligible to avail after they successfully complete a workshop in this program. You can define the value of one practice session pass here. So let's put a value of 20 AUD. So this means that after successfully completing a workshop in under this program, the student will be eligible to have two complimentary passes worth $20 each. You can also set the validity of the pass here. So it can be either in days or weeks or months. Fee description is the field where you can add any information that is related to the fees that you are setting up for the program. You can add something which can help both you as an admin and your students while making the purchase. And you can also add a thumbnail image for the program here. After you have successfully filled out the form, you can hit save to save the entry. Once you click save on the program form, the program will show up here. Now in this list, we have the name of the program, category of the program, and actions. And there are two action items here. One is view edit and the next is manage events. In order to make any changes to the program that you have just created, you can click on this view edit button and you can click on this edit icon here. You'll have the same form here and you can change any data about the program that you have just created and you can hit save to apply the changes. You can have an overview here. So the thumbnail image will be shown here. The name of the program is this. You can also delete programs as and when you wish. This is the description that you can put in while creating the program. This is the URL that we talked about. This is the category. This is the fees. This is the description of the fees. And this is the complementary passes if you have added in. Now, in order to create workshops, classes, sessions in this program, we have to go to manage events. Alternatively, you can also view or edit this and you will have the manage events button here also. So once you click manage events, you will be taken to the workshops and practice sessions pages. So these are switchable tabs. Initially, this list will be empty. In order to create a workshop under this program that you have just created, click on this button here, Add Workshop, and this will open up this extensive form here. This is where basically you will define the workshop that you want to create under this program. So we will go one by one through the fields here. So the first step is adding the details of the workshop. So the program is already selected here in this case. It's this Hatha Bliss 21 days as an example. Now, next is the location of the workshop that you are creating. So we have three options: in studio, custom venue, and online link. In studio is when the location of the workshop that you are creating is the main yoga studio that you are registered with. You can choose the room within your main yoga studio from this drop down. Again, to add rooms, if you don't already have created rooms here, you will have to add rooms by going into yoga center settings, or you can alternatively click on this add room button and just add the name of the room here also. You can click add, and the room name will be added in the list. So let's take as an example Mars. Next, we have the event description. So this is basically, this will uh, copy the program level description that you had entered, if you had entered any. But you also have the option to add any more specific description of this particular workshop if you want, or you can completely add some other description also. And the next item is this post booking redirecting URL. This is basically where you can choose a specific external URL that you want your students to land on when they successfully purchase this workshop from the client booking portal. Alternatively, for the custom venue option, this is when you are conducting this workshop in some other location other than your main yoga studio. You can choose an address that you have already added under custom venues in the yoga center settings from this drop down list. And if you don't have already added any venue addresses, then you can add a venue address from by clicking this button here on. You can add the address, the city, country, postal code, and map link, and you can hit add to add the venue address here, and then you can choose that venue address from this drop down. Similarly, for online link, uh, this option is when the workshop that you're creating will be held online through a virtual meeting. So you will be asked to paste that virtual meeting URL here, and you can also additionally add any instructions that you want the clients to be able to see here. The rest of the form is the same. So we have three options for the location of the workshop here. So let's take the example of in studio only, and I have chosen the Mars room here, and the program is this, and we'll click on proceed to move to the next step, which is adding the sessions inside this workshop. Now we have entered the details of the workshop. Now the next step is to add classes or sessions in this workshop. So adding sessions can happen in two ways. The workshop can be a single day workshop or a multi-day workshop. So I'll show you the example of single day first. Single day is basically the workshop will happen on a single day, and you can add a number of sessions to the workshop as you wish. You can choose the start date here, which is basically for a single day. This will be the date on which this workshop will happen. So let's take tomorrow. Today is 24th. Let's take the example of 25th of October. So this workshop will be happening tomorrow. Now we can add sessions to this workshop. So in order to add sessions, you can click that add session button, and you can create a session here in this form. You can choose a teacher for the session, and you can choose the time slot for this session. Also, additionally, this teacher list, this is also something that you can add to under the Teams tab from the left navigation. We'll show you how to do that later in the video. You can hit save, and you can see the session will be added here. You can also edit the session, and you can also delete the session. You can add more sessions as you wish. We'll add one more. So as we can see, on the 25th, this will be a single day workshop which will be happening on 25th, and it will have two classes on this timings and by these teachers. Next, we can add the capacity of this workshop. So how many students can be allowed to purchase this workshop? So let's set 5 as an example. So you also have the option to change the fees of this workshop if you wish. We'll leave it as it is in this example, and we can hit proceed to finally review the sessions that we have created. So in this example, we had a single day session, and there were a single day workshop, sorry, and there were two sessions in that workshop, as we can see here. We can also edit here also if you wish to, or if you change your mind at any point, you can go back and change any detail about the workshop that you were creating. Now I'll show you the multi-day option next. So for multi-day workshops, we can choose the days of the weeks that classes will be happening for the multi-day workshop. So let's take an example of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So this means that on a weekly basis, every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday classes will be happening. Now we can define the start and end dates of this workshop. So let's take tomorrow to as to be the start date, and the end date can be the same date of the next month. So basically, the workshop duration becomes 1 month, and the days are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Now, next is as we add a weekdays here, you'll see for under the sessions section for every day an entry will be added here. So if we add Wednesday and Thursday, as you can see, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are added. Now we can click on this add button next to every single day to add sessions for that day. So we can choose the teacher similarly. We can choose the time and we can hit save. So let's say we have one session each day for this multi-day workshop. So as we can see, for this multi-day workshop, we have defined the duration to be 1 month from this start date to end date, and we have defined that weekly 4 days classes will be happening: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and on each day these classes will be happening. Similarly, now the next step is to define the capacity and the fees. Once you're done, you can hit click on proceed, and you can again review the sessions that you have created. This in case of multi-day, this list will be showing you all the classes that are automatically being created within the start to end date time frame that you have defined. So in our example, it starts on 25th, it goes to 26th, 30, 31, 1, all the way to 23rd November, which is basically the entire 1 month span that we had defined. Once you're happy with the sessions that you have created, you can hit save to save this workshop under this program. Once you have created your workshops, this list will populate with the workshops that you are creating. So as in this list, we can see there is start date, end date, attendance, enrollments, status, duration, and location of the workshop listed here. So in order to see the details of any workshop that you create, you can click on any of the entries here. So as we can see, this workshop is under this program. The maximum capacity defined was 10. We have one enrollment so far here. The average attendance will be shown here. The event details as you create them will be shown here. So the dates, in this case, it was a single day workshop. So the dates are the same, 1st Jan. Capacity was 10. You also have the ability to edit capacity and the fees at any time as you wish. The category was advanced, room was this, and the sessions as you create them will be listed here. In our case, it was a single day with one session, so that single session was 1 a.m. to 2 a.m. and the teacher was this. Next, we have these three tabs on the right hand side: schedule, members, and waitlist. Schedule is basically the same thing as this sessions part here. This will basically list down all the sessions that are available under this event that you had created based on the dates. So if this were to be a multi-day workshop, then there would have been more dates here. But since it is a single day and the date was 1st Jan, only this 1st Jan date is available, and the session that is present in this date is showing here. You have the ability to edit this session from here also. You can change the date, you can change the teacher, and you can change the time slots also. Once you're done, you can hit save to apply the changes. You also have the option to delete this session. Moving on to the members tab, this is where you can add students to this workshop. In order to add members to the workshop, click on this add member button. The first step is to choose a client. So you can search for a client from your client database, or you can select a client from the list here. This is the parent list where all your clients will be shown. So let's take an example of this client, this second entry. You will be shown this confirmation modal where it will say that you're assigning this workshop to this student. The program is this, the date is this, duration is 1 day because this is single day session. The fees is this. You can also edit the fees here also if you wish. You can add any payment notes if you want. You can also apply wallet balance if any is applicable for this client. In order to apply it, you check this checkbox first, and then you can enter the value here. In our case, this is not applicable because this client does not have any wallet balance available yet. So the grand total will be shown here accordingly. When you're done, you can click on go to payment, and you can choose the payment method here. An additional processing fee is applicable based on the payment process that you select. There are three options available for the payment: cash, payment link, and credit card details. Cash is when you are taking payment physically from the student. You can select this option and you can hit continue, and you can confirm that the payment was taken by you or any other staff member, and you can confirm the assignment. Send payment link is the option where you can send a payment link for this workshop assignment to the client on their email address, and you will receive a confirmation that the payment link has been sent, and the student will receive the email with the payment link, and they can click on the payment link to complete the payment and successfully complete the assignment. The third option is the credit card details. This is when your student can provide you the credit card details for the payment. For our example, I'll choose the cash option, and I'll click on continue, and I'll say that the payment was done, and I'll confirm the assignment. So once you click the button, this confirmation modal will show up. It says this client has been successfully assigned to this workshop, which is on this date under this program, and the day and the sessions will be shown here. You can click OK to exit it. So as you can see, this client has been now been added to the members list of this workshop. The next tab is the wait list. So this is where clients that want to register to this event will be added once the defined capacity has been filled. In our example, the capacity defined was 10. So after 10 clients have been assigned to the members list for this event, no more capacity is available for assignment. So when more students want to join the wait list, you can add them to the wait list by clicking on this button here. And similarly, you can choose the client and you can hit add to add them to this wait list. They'll have this assign button next to every client. So whenever there is capacity available, you can click on this assign button to add them to the members list back again. Similar to the case of workshops, you can create and manage practice sessions under a program from this tab. As you can see, the data is here: the start date, end date, attendance, enrollments, status, duration, and location of the practice sessions are listed here. And in order to add a practice session, you can click this button, and the form for the practice session is pretty much exactly similar to the workshop form. Moving on to all events section, this is the place where all your events, irrespective of what program they are under, will be shown in a list view. As we can see in the list, every entry is a separate workshop. So in this case, the first example is it's a workshop under the Hatha Bliss 21 days program. The date of the workshop is this. In this case, the workshop is an in-studio workshop, and the room is this Mars room. The capacity was 5. Enrollments are 0 as of now. The fees is this. You can also toggle this button here to see the sessions that are scheduled for this workshop. You can see the date, the time slot, and the teacher here. You also have the ability to enroll any student directly from this screen for any particular workshop by clicking this button and following the registration process as shown previously. You also have the option to filter out for only workshops or only practice sessions or all of them under all events. This is the filter to filter out for a specific day, for a week, for a month, or for a year. You also have two buttons here. One is for directly adding a workshop. Clicking on the button will open this workshop creation form again. You can choose the program here, and you can follow the rest of the process for workshop creation as previously shown. Similarly, the case for practice sessions. The all sessions sections is similar to the all events, just that the difference is in this page, you will see all your sessions in a list view, irrespective of what program they are under or what workshop they are in. In our case, let's take the example of this particular entry. So as we can see, the date of this session was 25 Jan. The time slot of the workshop was this 6 to 8 a.m. It was under a test program, yoga program, and the event was a workshop type. This was a single day event of 25 Jan. The teacher was not selected at the time of creation, so it's empty. Basically, the location in this workshop's case was in studio, and the room was this Surya room, and the capacity was defined to be 4, and the enrollments were also done to the maximum capacity of 4. There are two buttons available next to every session entry. One is to edit the session at any point of time, as shown previously also, and the other one is to mark the attendance for the registered students for this particular session. So for every member, there is this attendance toggle here. Initially, this will be toggled off as absent, and when you want to mark the attendance for this particular student, you can switch this toggle to the present state. So this will mark the attendance for this student for this session. Additionally, there is an option to look at the list of the members that are assigned for this session. You can access that list by clicking on this enrollments entry. So clicking on this will open this modal, which will basically show you the members that are assigned to this session at this time. So as we can see in our example, the capacity defined was 4, and the 4 of the 4 members were assigned, and these are those 4 people. So here you can see some information about the clients, about the students, and you also have there are two triggers here. One is for a phone call, and one is for a WhatsApp direct connect. So if you're using this portal on your phone, then coming here and clicking on these either of these two triggers can take you directly to making a call or sending a WhatsApp message to the registered phone number of that student. Moving on to the calendar page, this is where all your sessions, similar to the all sessions tab, will be listed but in a calendar format. As we can see, by default, the date of the calendar will be the present date. You have the ability to choose a particular date from this filter. You can see for any particular date selected based on the time slots, the sessions will be shown here also. And clicking on any of the entries, you can it will take you to the detail of that particular session. So we can see some data is listed here. So the program, the event type, and the date of the event, the teacher assigned to this particular session, the time slot of this session, and if there are any members assigned, then the capacity of the members will be shown here. Let me take an example of this one. So yeah, as we can see, the capacity was defined to be a one member, and the one member has been assigned in this particular session. So you can also mark the attendance and edit the session from here. Next is the client section. This primarily has two parent tabs, the all clients tab and the follow-ups tab. Firstly, for the all clients tab, this is the place where all your clients or students that you are registering in your portal will be listed. As we can see, some data is listed here: the name, email, date of joining, phone, gender, and form fill. You have the ability to search for a client by name by typing the name here. In order to add a client to your portal, you can click on this button, add a client, and the form will appear. You can enter the details of the student here. So the first name, last name, the gender, email, phone, the address, city, country, postal code, birth date, and where did you hear about this. This is to keep track of how the student has got to know about your Yoga Studio and the platform. So in order to have these options here in this drop down, you can navigate to the Yoga Center settings, and there is a section to add the options for this particular field. More on that later in the video. So once you're done with filling out this form for the details of that student, you can click the add client button and the client will be added in this list. You have the ability to sort out the list by clicking on any of these header items here. So clicking on this name header will sort the list according to the name alphabetically. Similar for the rest of the header items. So in order to see more details about any of your clients, you can click on you can click on one of the clients to get to the more details view. So let's click on this first entry here. So as we can see, the particular information about this client is available to you under these tabs. So client info, the first tab is basically the basic information about the student here. So it has the name, the phone number, address, date of birth, and some additional information about their status in your yoga studio platform. So as we can see, this particular client has completed one class so far. He has one ongoing class. Attendance is basically 0%, but this will be any value depending on what the but this will vary according to what how this client has been attending the classes for your uh, payments. Payments is basically the total amount uh, that has been generated against this particular student. Personal information form is a form which is present in this tab, which is basically an additional form which intakes data about the health of the particular student, which the student is supposed to fill out. So the status of that form is shown here. If the student has not filled, then it will say not filled. If the student has filled out the form fully, then it will say fully filled. Otherwise, it will say partially filled. So moving on to the next tab, programs is where all of the programs that this particular student has assigned himself or herself to will show up here. So as we can see, the workshops are listed here under these headers: the name, date, attendance, the status of the workshop. So if it's an ongoing workshop or it's a completed event, subscribe status, basically what is the status of the subscription of this student in this workshop, and the duration of that workshop. You can click on any of the workshops here listed here to get to the detail page where the attendance average will show, and you can also mark the attendance for this particular student here for the particular workshop. This list will have all the dates when the sessions are scheduled for the workshop, and you can mark the attendance from here also. You can toggle down any day and you can mark the attendance. Additionally, in order to unsubscribe a client from a workshop, you can navigate to this section and you can click on one of the workshops and you can click on this unsubscribe and refund button. You can proceed to refund the student. It will open up this modal where all the information about the workshop that you are unsubscribing the student from will appear. It will have the program name, the event dates, the category, the client name. You can edit the amount that you want to be refunded to the student, and you can also choose the method for the refund. Original payment method is basically whatever the payment method was used while subscribing the client to the workshop, or alternatively you can choose the wallet method. This will credit the balance, the refund amount balance to the wallet against this particular client, which this client can utilize for future bookings. You can add a refund note if you wish, and once you're done you can confirm and unsubscribe. Clicking on this button, you can see there's a confirmation modal saying that the client has been successfully unsubscribed. Additionally, the client will also receive an email confirming that he or she has been unsubscribed from that particular event with the event details. Moving on to the next tab, payments is the section where all the transactions and the transactional details of every transaction that this client has done in order to subscribe to workshops will appear here. So you can see all of the details about the transaction by clicking on any of the entries here. So as we can see, it has the status of that transaction saying transaction successful, the program name, the event date, type, the transaction ID, transaction status, date of transaction, payment method, subscription fees, passes used if any, wallet balance used if any, and the total amount paid. You can also delete any transactional data if you wish to. Moving on to the next tab, personal information, as we mentioned before, is that particular form for taking additional data about the health and other aspects of the student. So this will be filled out by the student themselves, and after they have filled out the form, that particular information will reflect here, which you can refer to for this particular student at any point of time. Moving on, follow-ups is the section where you can record communication that you have with this particular client if you want to refer to them at some point in the future. So in order to add a communication history, you can click this add action history button, and it will open up this form where you can choose the type of communication that you had. If it's a phone call, then you can say that it was a phone call and you had called. You can choose the date of the conversation that you had. You can additionally also specify any yoga program in order to be able to know that the conversation happened for this particular yoga program with the client, and you can take notes based on the conversation that you had with the student. And once you're done, you can click add to add that communication history here. So this is how you add communication history, and you can refer to these communication items at any point as you wish. You can also update the next follow-up date here by clicking on this button, and you can mention the next date for the for the next communication, and you can mention the program here also, and you can hit update to update that next follow-up date. Moving on to medical alerts, this is a simple list where you can list down any medical information or any thing that is related or anything that is related to a medical emergency that could come in handy for this particular student. You can add the detail here, and you can click add to add that medical alert here. You can also edit the medical alert and delete as you wish. Similarly, client notes, you can add any notes which are relevant to this particular student, which you can refer to at any point in the future. The last tab, passes, is where any practice session passes that have been assigned to this particular student will show up here with their usage status. So if the student has used any particular practice session pass to avail practice session classes, it will show up here with the status saying active or expired or used. So for active passes, you have the ability to edit the expiry date of the practice session passes. Once this student has used any active practice session pass for booking of practice session passes, uh, the status will be changed to used. And you can also see the value here. You can also additionally add a pass for this particular student if you wish to. You can specify the program for which you are creating the practice session pass. So you can choose any program, and you can put in the value of the practice session pass, and you can choose the expiration date, and you can hit save. You have the wallet amount information here. So this is basically the credit available against this particular student. Additionally, we have two more buttons. One is to assign program, one is to assign practice session. So you can directly assign this particular student to a program by clicking on this, and then uh, following these steps. The first is to choose the program. So let's choose this one. You can then choose any event that are available for booking under that chosen program. You can click on this assign button, and this particular client, this particular student will be assigned to this event under this chosen program. Similarly, for the case of practice sessions also. Moving on to the team tab, this is where you will add and manage information about your staff members and teachers within your yoga studio. In order to add information about a teacher or a staff member, you can click this button, add a teacher, and you can input the details of that particular teacher or staff member here. So we have first name, last name, gender, email, the role. This is where you can specify what role this particular member will have. Is it a teacher with no managed access to the platform? Is it a staff with managed access only? Or is it a teacher with managed access for the platform? This also ensures that when you assign a particular member as a teacher, that particular teacher will show up while creating sessions under programs. Next, we have phone, address, city, country, postal code, and date of birth. Once you're done filling out the information about that particular member, you can click Add Teacher to successfully add the member to the list. So in the list view, as we can see, we have the name, date of joining, phone, gender, and role specified here. In order to see all the details about the member that you have added, you can click on one of the entries. Let's click on this Yoga Guru 2. So we can see the details page opens up. Here we can see some information is mentioned, and the ability to edit the information is here. You can click on this edit button to enter the edit mode, and then you can edit any information about this particular member here. Once you're done, you can hit save to apply the changes. You also have the ability to search for any teacher or staff member by name here. Next, we have the leads section. This is where information about any potential client will be stored. So, for example, uh, if you are running any marketing campaign for your yoga studio on platforms like Facebook, and a potential student interacts with your campaign and submits relevant information, then that can be stored and shown here. Next, we move to user settings. This is the place where you will have your own information as the admin stored, and you can access the information here, and you can also edit your information by clicking this button and changing any information as you wish. This is also the same information that is stored when you are creating your admin account on the portal. Moving on to the yoga center settings, this is where you will find all the settings available for your yoga studio in the platform. So we have all of these tabs here. The first tab is the center profile. This is where you will find the basic information about your yoga studio that you have registered on the platform. And you will have the ability to edit any information by clicking this button. Clicking this button, you can enter the edit mode and you can change any information about this yoga center as you wish. Once you're done, you can click save to apply the changes. Moving on to the next tab, rooms. This is where you'll add and manage the rooms for your in studio workshops while creating workshops. As we had seen while creating workshops, the in studio option asks you to choose a room when creating the workshop. So this is the list that shows up in that drop down. So in order to add a room in this list, you can click this button and add the room by entering the room name here and clicking add. You can also edit the name of the room at any point, and you can also delete the rooms by clicking this button. Moving on to the next tab, we have payment settings. This page basically holds two pieces of information which are important for the platform to be able to handle payments for your yoga studio with your students. The two pieces of information are the publishable key and the secret key. This is basically related to your Stripe business account that you will use while managing your yoga studio payments. So we require these two pieces of information from your Stripe account in order to be able to handle payments on the platform. Moving on to the next tab, venues is where you can add and manage external venue locations when you're choosing to conduct your workshop at a different location other than your main yoga studio. So in order to add a venue address here, you can click this add venue button and you can add the address here. You'll also have a option to add the map link here. Once you're done, you can click the add button to add that venue address to this list. You have the option to enable or disable any venue address from this list, so that when you are creating a workshop and you choose the external venue location option, while choosing the venue location, only the enabled addresses will show up in the drop down list. Moving on to the next tab, we have redirecting URLs. This is basically the page where you will add and manage external URLs that you can assign at the time of workshop creation for redirecting your clients when they have successfully registered themselves to the workshop. So, for example, we have this URL which is the homepage of google.com. So this means that while creating a workshop, we have the option to choose this external URL as the redirecting URL when students will successfully register themselves to the workshop. You can add a URL to this list by clicking this add link button and putting the link name and the URL itself here. Next, we have the waivers and agreements tab. This is basically the place where you have the ability to add your own information in terms of the legal disclaimer and waiver and the terms and conditions of your yoga studio. This is relevant to the students who are registering to workshops within your yoga studio. You can mention the terms of your yoga studio here. In order to do that, you can click this edit button and you can enter the relevant text here and here, and then once you're done you can click save to apply the change. Finally, we have global settings. This has two tabs, program categories and client sources. Program categories is where you can add categories that your yoga programs will fall into. This is relevant when adding yoga programs in the programs section. While creating a program, in the category field, while creating a program, you'll have to define the category for the yoga program that you are creating. So in order to do that, you'll have to have categories listed here. So in order to add a category in this list, you can click this add category button and you can specify the category name and you can click add. You can also edit the name of the category at any point and you can also delete the categories here. Next, we have the client sources. This is the place where you will add the options for the question of where did you hear about us while adding a client to the portal. So in the client addition form, there is a field as we had shown earlier where you heard about the platform. From the list of options available, you can choose an option from the drop down. The options that are present in the drop down are basically stored here. So in order to add a source here, you can click this add source button and you can specify the source. So as an example, we have already added social network as a source, friends as a source, advertisement as a source, and so on. You can again edit the name of the source and also delete the source. Additionally, our platform also lets you manage multiple yoga studios under the same admin account. So, in order to add multiple yoga studios on the platform, you can come to this yoga center name here and you can click on this to expand the drop down and you'll have this add new center button here. And whenever you have added a new yoga center, it will show up in this list here. At any point of time, you can switch to a different yoga center from this list. So adding a new yoga center is as simple as clicking this button and filling out this form. So this will create a new yoga center under the same admin account. Once you have entered the details here, which is center name, phone country code, the phone number, the address, city, country, and pin code, and you can hit save. Once you have done this, this new yoga center will show up in this list, and then you can click on that new yoga center to switch to that yoga center and manage that yoga center separately but under the same admin account.